Hey everybody, welcome to the very first episode of Silver Lion Amusement Park. It's been a long time since I've done a time-lapse series, so I'm pretty excited to get started on this one here. If you have any suggestions throughout the series itself, please either chat me on Discord or comment in YouTube comments below. I'd love the input. Now, the idea behind this is that there's going to be intermittent narrations like this throughout the actual time-lapse itself. And then I'll be talking about the progress, the planning, etc., and kind of just my thought process going around it too. But really, before we begin here, if you haven't done so already, I really encourage you to please subscribe to my channel. I really would appreciate it. But the basic concept behind the actual park itself is going to be more or less a almost generic uh, amusement park style. If you would say, if you ever seen gone to like Six Flags or anything like that, now there are theming areas or rides in them, but they are never like the most prudent thing in the park itself. So that way it gives you a lot of leeway of exactly how you want your park to go, and that's really what I want to kind of focus on, is just having really good, really well designed rides in a great atmosphere for an amusement park itself. But as you can see here, really what I'm doing is I'm kind of just laying some groundwork, which this is all subject to change throughout the entire series itself. But I really want to create this really almost grand entry with like a plaza here. I want to also build like a train station here for guests that aren't coming in through like the parking lot, etc. Which I believe I'm going to be doing a parking lot. I'm going to say somewhere around here, give or take. Maybe not that large, because I really don't want to focus too heavily on the actual infrastructure itself of a parking lot. Parking lots are great, but nobody really likes to watch parking lots be built in RCT. I mean, some do, some don't. I really want to focus mainly on this park around the actual rides and the actual atmosphere of the park itself. Um, but the first thing I really want to kind of point out is that this entrance that I'm going to be building, I want it to almost be like very classic. I want there to be ticket booths over here to the side right here, an entrance here, and then multiple entrance lanes actually into the park itself, and then a dedicated exit lane. I don't see that very often at theme parks, at least the ones I've been to, but I find them really efficient to really help move traffic around the actual park itself. So that's kind of what I want to focus on. Now, obviously, this red section is going to be more or less the plaza. Now, I don't want it being so incredibly large here, because that would just look incredibly ugly. So there will be vegetation and planter areas, etc. Now, like I said, all this is subject to change throughout the build itself. On the next narration after the actual time lapse of this section, I'll talk about anything that I changed, anything that I decided to do, or anything like that. So I really hope you guys enjoy this, but let's go ahead and get started on this entry here, and I will talk to you in a second. Alright guys, well there we go so far. The entrance is looking pretty good in my opinion. Got a lot of real life references going on with this, as well as a couple in-game references. Right now, as you can see, really I just kind of focus around these entrance points here, which I will still be detailing a lot of this here over the next little bit. And then you got this exit over here with these turnstiles. So I will actually make it one way for both once the path is actually laid. I'm not really sure about this building here. I feel like everything's a little bit too low, but maybe if I put some foliage around it too, it might also actually even out a bit. I'll put a lot of light posts as well as benches, etc. throughout this, and some more foliage. And then I will be putting the little train station or tram. I haven't really decided yet. This won't be functional, obviously, more or less just for scenery, but it's more or less to bring more guests into the park who don't want to use the parking lot. Once this has been completely built, though, I believe it all will come together a lot better. I'm not sure about the foliage either choice that I'm using here. I'm more than likely going to change it. I might even change the roof color here. Not 100% sure. So the next step I'm going to be working on is more or less just finishing the detailing around this building itself, and also doing a little bit of back alleyways for staff only and whatnot that you're going to see through here. Now this park is obviously going to be closer to a realistic style. Now obviously this is still Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, and I reserve the right to change anything whenever I want. So as I will try to stick it to being realistic, there will be sometimes you'll sometimes see some flaws, which is just something that happens. But so far I hope you guys are really enjoying this. But yeah, the next plan here is to finish off all of this plaza area and all the little details, and then I'll get to work on this train station. Over here I'll just have some gardens, almost like seating areas, and I'll make sure to continue to line this and build these fences and put in a lot of trees to really kind of give it that extra atmosphere that it really needs. If you see anything that you think should be added later as well, just let me know. But yeah, let's go ahead and get back to this time lapse. Alright guys, well we made some pretty serious progress here. As you can see, I kind of went with this specific foliage style here. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to keep it. I believe the grass is a little also too dense here. I believe it needs to be a lot more manicured. As you would see that coming into an actual park, it just seems too messy. So that is something I'm going to be working on here. And then also this right here, I'm not 100% sure either that I'm really enjoying the darker purple flowers or really this darker green bush. So that might be something that I redo, is I actually might like some trees through here instead. I did originally start with some lampposts coming through here, but they were just too tall and they weren't really working well. So I do need to find something out here because this is way too bland. I may actually extend this down, the gray path that is. I do need to build out the infrastructure around this parking lot, which will extend way over here. That's something that I'll do in another episode. And then you have this back alleyway, employee-only entrance here, which will have a whole bunch of storage facilities, etc. They'll be hidden by trees, etc., into the actual park itself. Now, I didn't change the roof like I was talking about here. I am going to leave that for now just until I make a better decision, as I am debating on actually adding another building here also, and as well as over here. But the idea is that after these pavilions or whatever I'm going to make over here for seating, for just like a scenery relaxing area, and I get the basic infrastructure here built here, I will be building a train station here, which I believe is still going to become a tram for the entrance into the park. It'll have the same style as this building here, is what I'm kind of leaning towards right now. And then after that, after we get all this done and the park actually accessible, I'm going to be making sure to build like a guest visitor center, kind of like right here or here. And then at that point, I'm also going to then start the first ride of the actual park itself, which I am open to ideas still. I have a couple ideas in mind. I think I would like to start with some kind of Intamin launch coaster, or maybe even some kind of shoestring spinning ride of some sort. I haven't fully decided that. Also through here, I would kind of like to make a somewhat of like a main street coming up this way. Not a classic type main street, but there needs to be some kind of maybe some great plaza between it, maybe fountains or some foliage or something, and then two sides to this main street as well, with a bunch of shops, stalls, information areas, etc. So that's what I'm leaning towards at this current moment. But yeah, that'll be it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. Suggest some things. If you want, chat me up on Discord. I'd be glad to talk about this project. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next video.